Okay, so welcome back. So today we're going to have a look at a video that I found a few weeks ago. It's actually the first ever race that I did once I'd owned the MGB. It's a classic sports car club swinging 60s race, and it's back in May 2015. So at this point I'd been racing a year. So I've been racing a year, but this was the first race that I'd done whilst owning this car. So it's at Silverstone. We're in a grid of 30 cars. We qualified 15th, and I'm racing it with my friend Matt. And it's totally different. We've been racing Caterham the previous year, and so it's totally different, this historic racing. It didn't go off, did very well at the start, as you'll see in a minute, because got to the first corner or second corner and bang, got T-boned by a yellow MG midget that came across the grass. There he is, there's the culprit. And it actually punted me all the way back to last place. So I'm now in 30th. And I think this is probably the first time I ever saw the red mist, because I then proceeded to just drive like a demon and try and gain places back up, and which I did actually. So I'm really pleased with this car. It's so the car itself is a 1963, so one of the earliest MGBs. It's to FIA spec, and I have got FIA papers for it. It's 1840cc, but in this race, the swinging 60s, I was actually running on the road going slick type tyres, the modern tyres. So we're not on here historic tyres. In previous, in subsequent years, I did full historic stuff. So nowadays I just drive on Dunlop historic tyres, and it handles a lot differently. But certainly with these tyres, it really did suit the car, and it was incredibly quick. So to be 15th in our first race, I thought that was okay, and we managed to these few laps. I managed to catch up, get going quite quickly, and take my places back. So there's the culprit that hit me, and I must admit I did give him a big old stare as I went by. It was funny because he was actually in the paddock next to us, and we discussed the start and said, I hope it all goes well, and then he was the one that hit me. So, but we had a little chat afterwards, and they did carry on the race, but he had damaged the front suspension, so it wasn't actually driving very well, wasn't handling very well. So I raced with the Classic Sports Car Club for a number of years at the start of my career, if you like. So we raced in the Mag 7s with the Caterham. It wasn't actually a Caterham; it was a Caterham type kit car. We did okay. It was okay. But in the MG, we really sort of like found our feet, because often you find with these two driver races, you have the owner and a quick driver. So the quick drivers tend to qualify the car up the grid, and then it's down. Then by the end of the 40 minutes, they slowly slip down. Whereas me and Matt, we were fairly equal in the way, in our lap times. Total different driving styles, of course. I always tried to keep it nice and smooth, whereas Matt was a little bit more erratic. But in terms of the lap times, they were exactly the same. So we actually did quite well. We did quite well in this car, and we got quite a few trophies. So and I learnt a lot. So that car in front of us there, that's also an FIA MGB, but he is actually on Dunlop tyres, and so hence why it makes it look like I'm really fast. But I'm guessing that's probably why I was a little bit faster. I've got a lot more grip. So I have actually split this video up, because it's in the first few laps I managed to get by quite a few cars actually, and once I'd got through them, I actually for a long time I was running 14th place. So when I get past these two, I'm actually running in 14th place. So I've made up a place, if you like. And then the pit stops start happening. So actually, when I come in for my pit stop, I'm actually running in 6th place. But that's not really a true 6th place because the front guys had already taken their pit stops. Now in these races, it's an obligatory pit stop, and the driver changes are as quick as you can. As you'll see later, ours didn't go quite according to plan. But if you're a single driver, in the swinging 60s, you had to actually get out of the car, shut the door, and get back in, and then get back in and get belted up, and then you could go. And it's great fun. It's great fun, and they still do it now. And last year, you'll see, I'll put a link in the description of the videos below. The only time I raced the car last year was with a classic sports car club, but that was actually the classic K race, so that's to full FIA specs with historic tyres. I seem to remember this guy here. This guy annoyed me a lot because he almost stopped on the apex, which I nearly hit him. So, which was. I remember thinking, I was a little bit annoyed at the time, but there we go. It's one of those things, isn't it? I think I do get by him, to be honest. Yeah, so there we go. But like I was saying, these were on, I think we were on Yokohama something tyres, and they did give huge amounts of grip on this car. And the car was quite quick, but it's not really what it was designed for. When you put the historic tyres on, it moves around a lot more, and it actually feels more natural. So, but yeah, I can't believe looking back, I've done so many races in this car, and this was actually the first one. So, and this is a car that I don't think I'll ever sell because I just love it so much. It's not very pretty to look at. It's one of the guys said to me, "It's your car. You can't understand why it goes so fast because it's not the best MGB out there in terms of looks or condition, but we seem to get it to go around corner quite well. And I've been quite lucky. I've had quite a few different drivers driving with me." So there we go. So I've cut this bit out now. So these are the cars in front of me are actually the leaders that have just taken their pit stop. So they're that's hence why I'm right behind them. So I shall be peeling into the pits now, and then handing over to Matt. But like I said, well, you'll see in a minute, the pit stop wasn't quite according to plan because obviously my car has now been T-boned in the side. And I was it handled okay. It was driving okay, but the problem was, of course, the door was all stoved in, and the sill, and I couldn't get out the door. So there's Matt, and there's the marshals. It caused quite a bit because obviously I couldn't get out, so I got out the driver's door. And there was a little bit, we almost had an argument between two marshals because one of them was saying, "Well, I don't think you can go out again because how are you going to get out?" And I said, "Well, I've just got out the other door." So, and then one of the other guys said, one of the other scrutineers said, "Look, the car's obviously running and riding because he's been going round. So just get him in." So there we go. Matt's got in the car. It took a little while to get in and out because obviously that's not the best way of getting in and out of the car. So when I came in, I was running in 6th place. When Matt went out, he was down in 18th, and he managed to pick up a couple of spaces. So off we go, Matt. Go on you go. So he managed to pick up a couple of spaces, and we finished 15th. So we started 15th, finished 15th, went all the way down to last place, back up to 15th. So it was a very eventful race. We really got to know the car quite well, and yeah. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Again, it was something slightly different looking back in the past. Don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a like if you like it, and remember, how hard can it be?